of that coming up, but we begin with the great number 8. And Alex Ovechkin has been unbelievable. It's crazy every year that we continue to talk about him and can he reach Wayne Gretzky? Well, now it's actually within reach, it appears, Jonesy, and this is becoming a real conversation now.
It is, and what's most impressive to me is he does not look like he's slowing down. That's what you're waiting for. Gretzky's number is so ridiculously high that you figured with age, Ovechkin would start to slow down and oppositions would finally figure out how to stop him. That has not happened. Ovechkin looks stronger. He's scoring goals and the same way he has throughout his career, and those are in multiple different ways, including with his shot and breakaway speed, which he showed often against the New York Islanders. He gets a little puck luck here, but made an unbelievable move around the defenseman. Then he scores an empty net goal. That's not your average empty net goal. A great move, an intelligent play to get the red line before he shoots the puck in the empty net, and he has demonstrated that he still has got his scoring touch, but most importantly, he has his legs, and that's what gives him a chance to get past him.
I mean, you defended him a number of times in your career, right, Ben?
I did. I actually had reasonable success against Alex Ovechkin. I played for a team that had their number for a long time, which definitely worked in my advantage. But my dad had emergency surgery in Georgetown. He had emergency hernia surgery, and he's on the operating table having just been operated on. And the surgeon comes in and says, it's well known in the organization that your son is Alex Ovechkin's least favorite player to play against. Other than winning the Stanley Cup, that might go on my tombstone.
That's so cool.
Alex had relative success against Alex Ovechkin. He's terrifying. He is the best shooter ever. He doesn't need any room. He can find lanes, and I think he came into the league being a Russian-born player. There were a lot of people that didn't love him right away. He was a big personality. Before that was cool, and I think that now with his personality, he's sort of changed minds and hearts. And ultimately, he's a guy that I cheer for because I do think he's good for the game.
What do you think it was when you were going up against, like, what enabled you to have success against a player like that? Was it the way you knew he was going to attack the net or shoot the puck? I mean, what was it with you?
I think I was one of the few people dumb enough and needed the job that badly that I was willing to stand in front of it, particularly on the power play. And again, particularly my Pittsburgh team, we had very good success against them. But I think that his job and that power play that he thrives on, their job is to get you to move out of position. And we would do a lot of scouting and a lot of film, and I eventually figured out that I didn't need to move out of position, and then I was willing to let the puck hit me far too often.
Oh, man. How many block shots do you think you'd had against that Ovi?
Too many, and they all hurt. The guy shoots so hard. It's effortless for him. He is a big man, and it's scary.
Yeah.
That's the remarkable part, because every team is doing what Pittsburgh tried to do against Ovechkin. Everybody's game planning. Everybody's watching video. Everyone knows exactly where his office is, where Gretzky's office was behind the net, and he would come out and make incredible plays. Ovechkin's office is off the wing and blasting away in one-timers, which Ben blocked a number of throughout his career. That's what he does. And no matter how often and how many times teams have studied it, they can't stop him, which is a remarkable thing. And the fact that he continues to find ways to do that, and has found different ways to still continue to score goals, including getting to the blue paint a little more frequently than he did early on in his career, that's the part that just is amazing to me, that everybody is gunning to slow him down and nobody can.
And I figured he'd slow down eventually. You watch his celebration after the Stanley Cup victory. He looks like he's burned the candle on both ends a little bit, but he keeps producing. And I think playing with a guy like Backstrom, who is one of the few players in the league that can really slow the game down, has benefited him, because he doesn't have to be the burner that he once was. He's able to get in position to shoot, and Backstrom is one of the greatest passers ever, and they've been just such a dynamic duo over the years, and it continues to breed success for them.
And now having Tom Wilson on that line, he doesn't have to run everybody over every shift as well. So that's another nice compliment to him, that he has another player on that line that's putting fear in the opposition.
big time.
Yeah, you kind of wonder, would Alex Ovechkin be the player he is if Nicklas Backstrom wasn't playing with him every night?
You can say that, but I think great players find a way to be great, no matter who they're playing with. But they've absolutely benefited from each other. That power play is perfect. They have John Carlson up top. They have TJ Oshie ready to whip one-timers. You can't just concentrate on one guy. And I think that's made Ovechkin even more successful than he already was.
Yeah, you played with a player like that, Sidney Crosby, a guy that literally could play with anybody and make them better. It didn't necessarily mean that Sid had to rely on the other players on his wing or wherever he was.
Great players make everybody around them so much better, and they also raise your level. Like, I was a very average player, and I had to be perfect growing up, being groomed, because I needed to try to keep up in practice with these guys. And playing with a player of Ovechkin's caliber is the same way.
Yeah.
It's the remarkable thing about wingers that do that, because players that play the wing don't necessarily influence the game like a centerman would, like Crosby would, or like Gretzky did, Joe Sakic or Peter Forsberg or Lindros, Messier. When wingers do it, it's an incredible feat as well, because their job is to score and not necessarily asked to get deep in their defensive zone. They're not necessarily asked to do a whole lot of things that define what a player who has defensive responsibilities would do. Their job is to shoot the puck and score goals. And you think of guys like Ovechkin, you think of Mike Bossy, pure goal scorers. Bossy had Trottier, that was great. Gretzky and Curry played together. Gretzky outscored Curry remarkably at the center ice position, which makes his number that much more confusing. But a lot of the times the centermen are the guys that are controlling the pace of play like Backstrom does, but he doesn't always defer to Ovechkin, which I think is a huge positive. He'll shoot the puck when the shot is there, but it's usually tandems that really find a way, and wingers usually need a great centerman, and you're right, Backstrom was a great centerman for Ovechkin.
The way this Capitals team is built right now, do you guys think that that's the team in the East? Is there anybody that's going to slow this team down?
I would say they're the favorite. They've done it recently. I do think they have depth. I think that third line is so dangerous with Lars Eller. That line plays in the offensive zone the whole game. They have very good defense. They have great goaltending. And it's still hockey. It's still, you need to be good and hot at the right time. And I think Boston will be a big challenge for them, and I think Pittsburgh will be a big challenge for them.
The strength of the Capitals is what stands out to me as well, and I agree with that. Within depth, there is a lot of physical players on that team. Hathaway's there now. Radko Gudas is there. The offseason was a really beneficial offseason to the Washington Capitals for providing pieces around the stars that were already in place. And that's what gives me a lot of confidence that they can handle, no matter who the opposition is, whatever they're bringing, whether it's a skilled team, they can compete with that. If it's a heavy team like Columbus, who played so well last year in chasing Tampa out, the Capitals are built to beat anybody. And they have depth in goal now, too. So if Holtby struggled at all, Samsonov would be the guy that they would go to quickly in a series like that, which is incredibly impressive that they've managed to still have balance and depth on a lineup that's front-loaded with superstar talent.